We are live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to LinkedIn Live. Meet our newest team member. This is Marshall the King Charles Cavalier, and he was brought on board to drive engagement on Instagram. Say hi, Marshall. Since Marshall's joined, we've seen our numbers on Instagram increase by about 100%. And so we'll see if we can do the same with LinkedIn Live. I wanted to make sure he was here at the start, so he's involved in the thumbnail of the live. All right, say goodbye. Bless him. He's just had a sleep. All right, guys, let's get stuck into the content. Today, I've got a few things to go through with you on how you can grow your influence on LinkedIn specifically. And I also wanted to cover influencer marketing. In times of COVID, there's a lot of questions around whether or not influencer marketing is still effective, and if so, like how to adjust your strategy to get most bang for your dollar. So we've got Zach joining us from Tribe Company, which is a global brand now, and they help brands, as I understand it, empower their users to generate content for them. So I'm looking forward to chatting to him shortly. So growing your influence online is a lot to do with the herd mentality. Crowds follow crowds. And so you want to create a profile that looks like it has some social proof attached to it. So it's important to grow your network fast. Having said that, it's important to make sure that your network is highly relevant as well and targeted. So the first thing you want to do on LinkedIn, if you haven't already, is import and invite your email contacts. And so if you like on Google, for example, or Gmail or Outlook, you can export a CSV file and you can then import it into LinkedIn. So I'm going to tell you how to do that. You can go to the My Network icon and click on Connections in the left side of the screen and more options. Then you can import the email addresses. So like if you have 2,000 people on your Gmail that you've been emailing over the years, you can find them all on LinkedIn and connect with them with the press of one button. So extremely fast way to grow your network. And if you haven't done it since you joined, it may be worthwhile doing it again, because there would have been a lot of people that joined your email database since then. Sorry, I'm just looking at the chats here. Oh, thanks, Gemma. If you go on Facebook or YouTube, come over to LinkedIn. That's where most of the engagement is happening. And that's where we're keeping an eye on the comments as well. Alrighty, now your LinkedIn profile, believe it or not, is one of the quickest ways that you can get on the first page of the Google search results. 50% of 50% of traffic to LinkedIn profiles actually come from Google. So how do you optimize your LinkedIn profile for better visibility? Well, the top three things that you want to do are put keywords in your headline, in your experience, so your job title, and then also in your summary. If you do those three things, there's a good chance that when people search for what you do, you'll show up #1 in the search results on LinkedIn, and you'll also rank very well on Google. So let's say, for example, you have a financial services company. At the moment, you may have CEO or director or account manager or business development manager as your title. The problem with that is your customers may not be searching for it. The only people that may be searching for CEO or director or things like that are either people looking for jobs, people who want to offer you a role, or people that want to sell to you. And so in order to attract potential customers, you might want to put in things like SMSF specialist, or financial services professional Melbourne, or whatever it may be that you want to be showing up for when people do a search. Now, those are the top three things. In terms of getting people to click on your profile, this thing is most important, the photograph. You need a professional photograph, and a lot of photographers who do portrait photography and corporate photography will tell you that you want to do it in a studio with a backdrop, wearing a professional outfit, and it will look very similar to a lot of the other professionals in your industry. And what I'm going to suggest you do is do what do what you would like naturally do in day to day, but try and make it so it stands out from the crowd. So, for example, like if you have a hobby for like golf, you like golf, or you like sailing, perhaps your profile picture is, you know, on the boat, or it's at the golf course, or something that's just different to what everyone else in your industry will be doing, so that when people look through they see this nice professional, like high definition photograph that stands out from the crowd, whether it's, you know, color or whatever it is. I know 5 years ago when I was doing LinkedIn training, I would tell people if you get a black and white photograph, it'll rank really well, because, you know, not many people have a black and white photograph. Obviously now that advice has been dispersed around LinkedIn, not always from me, but so if you have a black and white profile, it's very common these days. So, you know, these things work in cycles. When trends become well known, then they're not really like the cutting edge anymore. That's the main things that you need to think about for your LinkedIn profile. Okay, and now I want to talk quickly just about the most followed person on LinkedIn. And while I'm doing that, I'm just turning this light off because it's bloody hot. I've got this ring light that's huge. It's the size of a flying saucer. And I need to put the aircon on before I use it, I think. Okay, so Richard Branson in 2012 was the first person to surpass 1 million followers on LinkedIn. Now he's got, I believe, closer to 20 million. I haven't checked the latest statistic, but most followed person on LinkedIn. Now, why do you think Richard Branson has been so successful at getting people to follow him? And let's keep in mind as well that a lot of his content isn't actually native to LinkedIn. A lot of it has the start of the article and then a link off to his website. So he's done incredibly well to be the most followed person for his articles. And he really just posts articles. That's his main form of content. And as you probably can guess, it's a lot to do with his personal brand. Richard Branson is a personal branding magician, just like my friend Marshall, the King Charles Cavalier. And he is authentic, he is genuine, and he has a point of difference. Like when you think of Virgin, you think of Richard Branson. And when you think of Richard Branson, you think of fun, surfing, you know, when he has the photos with the team of the air hosts and staff, it's always like they're doing something fun, like picking someone up, or they're on the surfboard. So it associates with fun, and they always deliver consistent service. And so I think Richard Branson has really made the Virgin brand. The guy who actually started Virgin Airways with a deal where he could basically sell the planes back to Boeing if it didn't work after 12 months. And then he got them to guarantee the finance to buy the planes. So the guy is pretty amazing as an entrepreneur. He's failed more than most people, and now has 400 companies worldwide that he's involved in. 400 companies. And so, you know, whenever I catch myself complaining that I don't have any time, and, you know, my team of 3 or 4 now with Marshall, I remind myself that, you know, Richard Branson has 400 companies, and yeah, he seems to be having a good time. Let me know what you think of Richard Branson in the comments. And I also want you to drop any questions that you may have regarding influencer marketing, because we're about to bring Zach onto the call to talk about influencer marketing. I'd also like, if you would like to, I think what I'm going to do to give you more value with the profile thing, there's a thing that we use for our client called a profile optimization checklist. And what it is it's our 18-step profile checklist to rank number 1 in the search results. I only gave you 3 of the steps. There's 18 in total. Gemma, if you're in the chat, do you mind if anyone wants the checklist, drop checklist in the comments, and then what Gemma will do, she'll private message you with the checklist in your LinkedIn inbox or Facebook. Or if you're on YouTube, drop your email address. All right, enough of that. Let's get the man of the hour here with us. Drum roll. Here he is. Everybody give Zach a warm welcome in the comments, please.
Thanks for having me.
How are you, my man?
No, really good, thanks. It's good to be on. It's a little bit dark here in Melbourne at the moment, but it's good to be on.
Yeah. How has influencer marketing been impacted by the good old COVID?
I think everything's been impacted by COVID, not just influencer marketing. It's probably important to note, but I think positively is probably the best way to describe it. More so from the fact that they're now spreading messages around positive news stories as opposed to just always being product specific. And they're being used to get messages quick to market. Like even the government at one point was tapping influencer marketing agencies on the shoulder purely just to get a message across because they couldn't get it across any other way. They didn't know how to get it across. So it's quite an interesting time.
And you guys are focused mainly on Instagram, isn't it?
Yeah, 99.9% of what we do is revolving around Instagram. A little bit to do with Facebook, but that's more to do with paid marketing as opposed to organic influencer stuff. But yeah, predominantly Instagram.
Because I interviewed Jules, who's the founder of Tribe, for those of you watching, and I said to him, when is Tribe going to include LinkedIn? And he said to me, "What, aren't you getting paid enough, Nat?" And then he proceeded to tell me that what did he say? He said the LinkedIn content creators aren't shit, but the LinkedIn content is shit, or something like that. But do you see LinkedIn being added to the suite of influencer marketing platforms that you guys work with?
So from an influencer marketing perspective, I think it's definitely got some merit, more particularly with B2B. From a Tribe platform point of view, probably not something that we're looking to enter into as of yet. We still think there's a lot of growth left in the Instagram market. Like Instagram itself are doing a hell of a lot right now to push influencer marketing from their end. So we still feel that Instagram is 100%.
Okay, what sort of things are they doing?
I guess the first thing is turning organic paid posts for influencers into paid partnerships. That's the first step of disclosing all paid partnerships.
I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, no, so that's the first step. And then from there itself, it then gives brands organic results back to their Facebook ads manager, which then brands can now turn influencer posts into paid ads and target specific audiences outside of their following, which is super powerful. Essentially being able to add a call to action, target audiences outside of their following, and things like that, which really make it more of that pay to play and also attribution-based marketing that we've been kind of looking for.
So in that model, would the influencer manage the ads, or was it be the brand that manages the ads? It would be the influencer, wouldn't it?
So the brand manages these ads. So with that paid partnership tag, it essentially connects the brand's page with the influencer's page through Ads Manager. So Facebook and Instagram are very connected right now, which is great.
Okay, I might have to look into that. I'm sorry I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just looking to see what questions we've got here.
No stress.
Alice from Drapeco has said, my influencer marketing has been casual. I'm shy to ask too much in return. Few times they don't deliver after I've provided my products for free. What a reasonable ask from an influencer for what is a reasonable ask from an influencer for a product valued between $1,000 to $3,000? Any thoughts?
$1,000 to $3,000. It's a very big range.
Okay.
So I guess a good price point is anything below, I guess, $50 is something that you can necessarily get an influencer to go out and buy the product. From a Tribe platform point of view, we believe that if you're not willing to go out and buy the product or use the service themselves, they shouldn't recommend the audience do the same thing. So it's quite important with those lower end price point products that you're still being a customer of the brand first. Yeah.
And you guys work mainly with micro influencers, isn't it? Is it?
Yeah, so predominantly micro influencers. Reason being is for the same price of a celebrity-based influencer, you can activate 30 or 40 of these micro influencers for the same price. Activate 40 or 50 audiences, have the same reach, higher engagement. And then the most important part is you've then got 40 or 50 pieces of content, which you can then start to look to repurpose back on your own social advertising as well.
Yeah, well, just for the guys in the audience that may not have come across Tribe, and jump in if I've got any of this wrong, but I trialed it 2 or 3 years ago, I think it was, and basically, like you can look at what brands' requirements are. So, like I saw Heineken, I think it was, that said we're looking for somebody to post like buy a pool on holiday, showing the Heineken and using these hashtags, and you submit your creative. And then if it gets approved, then they give you a price and you can basically do the transaction there and then. Is that how it works? Have I got it right? Or
Yeah, essentially. So it's like it's a content upfront model. So what I mean by that is essentially brands upload a brief, as you just kind of mentioned. You've got all of your parameters around what you're looking for from a messaging and content point of view. Influencers then, as I said, go out, buy the product, create content upfront for the brands without a guarantee of approval. And so they're submitting with a fee attached through that, crudely based on their follower count. And then also content quality, engagement rate, audience fit all play a role in that pricing as well. And then from there, the brands are then choosing the ones that they feel fit the most for that as well.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, that's pretty easy workflow.
Awesome. Yeah, and you guys recently expanded to New York, wasn't it?
Yeah, we've had some pretty good growth, which is quite fortunate given the current circumstances. But yeah, New York's our newest office, and yeah, it's going great guns. We're loving it over there as well.
Yeah, well done. That's fantastic to hear. Like, we're all about the positive business stories during this climate. Brian Garra says, I'd like to know if Tribe would ever try to work in the podcast space.
Interesting.
Left field
yeah, left field. Again, I kind of have to go back to that Instagram, just starting to really help influencer marketing. So we're still really only playing in that space at the moment, but definitely can't rule anything like that out, I don't think. But for the most part, Instagram's still where we've got most of our attention.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So in these economic climates, there might be some people listening who want to try influencer marketing, or maybe have tried it in the past and need to get more of a return on investment for the budget, or need to reduce their budget. How do you get more bang for your buck with influencer marketing?
Yeah, 100%. I think firstly, starting with micro influencers, as we already just mentioned, you can activate 40 or 50 of them for the same price of one of those celebrity or macro-based influencers themselves. So on Tribe itself, you've got brands or small businesses that are dabbling with $1,000 or $2,000, getting a few posts and having content just to repurpose back on their social pages themselves. The best strategy that I'm kind of working with and I'm kind of guiding clients on right now is using a mix of the organic influencer posts with the balance of that branded content ad, which is that paid partnership that I was talking about, turning that into paid advertising. And then you can start to put some paid media behind it right now, which is actually a lot cheaper than what it used to be. Reason being is social consumption is up, ad volume from social is down. Therefore, the cost is actually not too bad for an opportunity.
Oh, wow. Yep. That makes sense. And so these ads, do they normally get posted under the influencer's account, or they're done through the actual brand account?
So they're done through the brand account, but on the ads manager side, but then it comes up from the influencer's page. So it's essentially turning the influencer's post into a paid ad, using the brand's media money and their targeting and all the stuff they're normally doing for their paid ads. So it kind of sits authentically in the feed. And it's like,
that's so good. So it's like you control these different ads next to each other, not only with different creatives but also with coming from different accounts, different relationships with their audience. That sounds like a pretty epic ad campaign.
It's pretty cool. And I guess that's one of the really most exciting things of influencer marketing in 2020, from my point of view, is you can actually get your customers to tell the brand story as opposed to the brand telling you how good they are. Because I'm a big believer in the customer telling you or telling other people how good your brand is, as opposed to the brand telling you how good they are.
Okay. Well, look, I want to have a call separate to this about how I could do a trial campaign. You're in sales? Because I think I'm pretty impressed that when a sales guy can make a sale when on an interview.
I'm glad that's the case. I technically am in sales, but I'm very passionate about this industry. So I'm always like reading up and trying to find the newest stuff to bring to my clients as well.
I had no idea about that, the ad campaign thing. And obviously been in marketing for 20 years. I know something that makes sense when I hear it. So we'll have that conversation. How long have you been with Tribe now?
Nearly 3 years, actually. It's just about to tick over to 3 years. It's been a good 3 years. Learned a lot, tried a lot. It's been good.
So like Jules told me, the founder of Tribe told me his first business was cleaning his neighbour's cars, and to get business, his lead generation strategy was to put the vacuum cleaner on reverse and empty all of his mum's vacuuming onto the neighbour's cars. And another one where he used to, was something to do with a golf course and getting dogs to pick up.
Oh, yes, yep.
So I'm imagining that there would have been some funny experiences. What's something that you experienced in Tribe that maybe you shouldn't be telling us?
Jules has got some great stories. I'll tell one of my stories, I guess. It's when I first started a Tribe. Very first Christmas party. I ended up being the last one there singing karaoke with Jules and his wife. And he politely asked me to leave the house. And every Christmas party since, he brings it up and says, "This is why we don't have the Christmas party at my house anymore." You can thank Zach. You thank Zach for that one.
Oh, that's hilarious. Well, good effort, mate. I mean, that's, that shows your commitment.
I appreciate it. Yeah. At the time, I thought I was having a ball and he was loving it, but turns out he wasn't so much.
Yeah. Well, we've all been there. Anyway, look, guys, that's another Monday Night Live wrapped up. Let me know your feedback in the comments. I know we took last week off. I collected Marshall the day before, so I wanted to spend some time with my new little pal. But in terms of like content for next week, let me know in the comments what you'd like to hear about. Maybe we can get a guest on to talk more about a particular subject. And if you liked what you saw, share it with your friends. And thanks very much, Zach, for joining us. Appreciate it.
No worries at all. Thanks for having me.
All right, that's a wrap. See ya.